going on YouTube? Uberman here again. This video is going to give you a rough idea of how to make a logbook, and this is something that you really need to have. Now I started with a spiral notebook like this. It's not worked out very well, so I'm not going to recommend that you get a spiral notebook. As you can see, it's just it's falling apart. So yesterday I went out and I got a different notebook, one that's got a hard front, a hard back, not spiral. Okay, I have not copied my logs into this yet, but I will. But I'm going to show you on the spiral notebook so you can get an idea of how to do your logbook for Uber. Sorry about that, guys. With the new rates and the guarantees and the fact that you can actually lose your minimum pay by so much as missing a single run for a single day, you really need to be keeping tracks of how many runs you took for each day and how long you were online. You know, from the clock in time to the clock out time, you've got to know this. Keeping track of each individual trip, like the trip ID number stuff, that's not really necessary. That stuff is handled through Uber, and as far as I know, I've never had an issue with losing trips or anything through Uber, unless it was a high fare that had to be held for review. So this is my logbook, and I know that it's definitely rough, but you know, this is just a this is the first time I've ever had to keep logs like this. I mean, I've kept mileage logs, which are pretty simple, you know, just time and mileage. But with this, because I'm trying to figure out how their averages are working and kind of playing around with their system, I've been keeping...
Hi there, Randy.
Sorry, I don't know why Siri decided to talk to me. Anyway, I've been keeping a pretty detailed log of everything. So we're going to start with, I mean, just your basic, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And what you should do is obviously for each week, flip the page, start a brand new week. But as you can see, we've got the dates, then you've got your start time and your finish time, and then you've got what you actually brought in. That is the subsidy before the 20% for the time that I was online. That's Uber's 20% cut, which you really don't need a space for that because it's obviously always going to be 20%. I guess in some areas and for some newer drivers it's 25%. And then we have the net after they take out the 20%, which for the shift that I prefer to work is $86.40 per day. And then over here I have the amount that the subsidy paid me over what I actually brought in for that day. And that way I can keep track of the subsidy. Now next I have the number of runs that I took, which is the number of completed trips. I don't count the canceled trips or anything, and I don't recommend you do either. Only count runs that you accepted and you completed. These are the number of runs that I took. As you can see for Saturday, I was really on my game with this. Oh, darn, I didn't fill it out for Saturday. Well, I'm going to have to finish it. Obviously, it's still in my my Uber application on my phone over here. I'll go through it and pull it out. But for Saturday, I know that I made $119, and I know that Uber would have been $220 before the 20%. So actual would be $119. Then we've got the subsidy, which obviously $220, and then the 20% brings out to $1 something. And you know, the subsidy, because I made $119, there won't be a subsidy, but there will be a subsidy because they're going to take the money that I made and they're going to keep it to help cover all of the other subsidies that they paid me. So I really don't want to get too much into that because I've already got a video on that, and I'm trying to keep these videos on topic and get through them fairly quickly so I'm not wasting anybody's time here. Now for the mileage, okay, here is my mileage log. This is pretty much the same way I've always done it, with the exception of this is something new I've started. As you can see, it's rough. I'll straighten it all out when I copy it over. But this is my mileage log, and again, I highly recommend you do week to week, 1 page per week. You could do it on the back, actually, for each week that you have for your Uber log. You could just flip it over and actually do the mileage log on the back of it. But I plan on keeping it this way. You've obviously got the date, you've got the time that you start, the mileage you start, and then the date again where you stop. Because I work the overnight shift, it always ends up being the next day. The time you stopped and the mileage you stopped, and then over here I've been writing down the number of miles I've driven, which should help me figure it out for the end of the year. At the end of each week, write down the total number of miles that you've driven. And then I've got this app, and again, this isn't something that they're paying me for or anything, but it's a very helpful app. It's not something that I would recommend using as standalone, meaning I wouldn't give up my paper logs for this app. But it's called Expensify. Sorry for the glare. Yeah, well, anyway, it's called Expensify. There it goes. And it's not listening to me. But there's the app. It's fairly simple. You track your distance. I use the odometer one. And then you've got starting mileage over here. What I do is at the start of my day, I come over here, I type in the amount of miles, and I always change the tax rate, the mileage rate, because it's wrong. On here it's 56 cents a mile, and now it is 57.5. So you have to type in 0.575, and then obviously at the end of the day you enter your ending mileage, and then you come over here and you hit save, or you hit next, and then you come up here and hit save, and that will keep track of your mileage. And real quick, I'll show you. Here's my reports for 2015 so far. Uber 2015, 783.72 is what my deduction is so far. And there you go. It shows each day, the mileage and all that. It's very helpful. You can, when you're finished with it at the end of the year, you can send it to yourself as a PDF. It's great. So I plan on continuing to use this, but that is another way that you can keep track and log your miles. So just want to make sure everything is, we're sticking to doing logs right now. Guys, if you need anything, as always, hit me up, like, comment, subscribe, and as always, be safe out there, and Uber on.